Okay, I have one of my favorite bands here, the Stooges. They're playing at the golf course. I've got a nice mix going. I've got the three vocals, Mo, Larry, and Curly. I've got some keys happening. I've got guitar, I've got bass, and I have a drum kit. And I've got some effects happening. I have reverb and delay just on the vocals. And then the second reverb unit I'm using on the snare drum, the one they call the room. So there's the mix. Let's set up their aux sends. Now, aux 1 would be Mo. He wants to hear just himself. That's all he wants to hear in his wedge. And by the way, they're all using floor wedges. And he wants a little bit of keys. Okay. Just keep him on pitch. So there's Mo's aux. Larry's aux is 2. Larry, of course, wants to hear himself mainly. But he wants to hear a little bit of Mo and a little bit of Curly as well. He also wants to hear a little bit of the keys. Let's go to aux 3, which would be Curly. Curly wants to hear mainly himself. Okay. He wants to hear a little bit of the other two vocalists. He wants the keys. But he's on the far side of the stage from the guitar, so he wants a little bit of guitar as well in his wedge. So there's the aux sends for everyone, for their monitor wedges. Let's look at the effects sends. We're on reverb now. We're going to send reverb to Mo. We're going to send Mo to the reverb, I should say. We're going to send Larry's signal to the reverb unit and Curly to the reverb unit. And in this case, the guitar sounded a little bit dry, so we sent a little bit of the guitar to the reverb just to fill it out a bit. So there's the reverb. The delay, we're sending each of the vocals to the delay processor. And that's it for the delay processor. I'm not using any chorus for anything. I haven't found any use for that at all yet. And the room, which is the second reverb, I'm sending the snare drum to that. Okay, so there we have the effects set up. And there we have a mix. We have a nice mix going. And then Mo decides he wants reverb in his wedge. And again, they're all using floor wedges. Now, I don't like to send effects to floor wedges because you're just doing something that is going to cause feedback, as you'll find out if you try this. But Mo insists he wants reverb in his floor wedge. Now, it's not hard to do. All I have to do is go to the aux sends and go to Mo's aux send, which is aux 1. And if I scroll far enough to the right, I will see the reverb delay in the room. So, all right, I'll bring up the reverb until Mo is happy. I'll bring up the delay until Mo is happy. So now Mo has reverb and delay in his floor wedge. But that's not the only thing that Mo has in his floor wedge, as I will explain with one of my high-tech drawings. Okay, let's travel Mo's vocal signal as it travels through the UI16, in particular in regards to his aux. So here's Mo's channel, here's the other channels, and he's sending a signal to his aux 1, because he wanted to hear himself. Remember, he also sent a signal from the keys to his aux because he wanted to hear the keys. That's all he wanted. And we wanted some reverb on Mo's channel, so we sent his signal to the reverb processor. But Larry, we also wanted reverb on his channel, so we sent him to the reverb processor. Curly, we also sent to the reverb processor. And remember, we sent some of the guitar signal to the reverb processor. Now, there is only one reverb processor here, and what it does, it takes these signals, it generates the reverb for them, combines them all, and then sends them out to the main out. So the output is a combination of all these things, reverb for all these. Now, Mo wanted reverb in his aux, so we went to his aux and we sent some of the reverb to his aux. But remember, what he's getting in this reverb, he's not just getting his own reverb, he's getting all this. Everything that gets sent to the reverb comes out of the outputs. So when you send reverb back into aux 1, you're getting Mo's reverb, you're getting Larry's reverb, you're getting Curly's reverb, and you're getting the guitar reverb that we sent. All that will show up in his aux, and all that will be output to his wedge. So I hope that drawing made sense. Let's go back to the mixer. So now that you've seen that, let's go back and take a look at what Mo is actually going to hear in his monitor wedge. Okay, and if you remember, when we look at the auxes, all he wanted was himself and the keys. But let's look at the effects sends. Okay, if I go to the reverb, and remember we only have one reverb unit for the vocals, and we're sending Mo, Larry, Curly to that reverb unit, and the guitar. So all of this is going to show up in Mo's wedge, and Mo is going to be whining, I hear the guitar in my wedge, I hear Curly, I hear Larry. You don't have an individual reverb for each channel on most digital mixers, especially a small one like this. So if you're using that reverb for more than one thing and you put it in one of the auxes, everything that's going to that reverb processor is going to show up in that aux. I hope that made sense to you. So anyway, there it is, for what it's worth. And again, thanks for watching.